What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ysn Power Hour, brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. Got to see them last night. They take care of my family as always. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Friday, and that means the head ball coach, Andy Hake, dropping down by athletics to talk. We had such a great response to last week's topic, 7-on-7, the NIL, all that stuff.
Broken borders.
And that we're going to talk today about rivalries. And I'll tell you why we're going to talk about rivalries, because tonight, as it stands right now, for the first time in, I believe, 8 years, 7-8 years, the Crestview Rebels and the Columbiana Clippers are going to do battle. And what used to be one of the top rivalries in this entire area. You know, when you're speaking about it, football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, I mean, all the sports in Columbiana County, you grew up and you knew that when Crestview played Columbiana, it was going to be a dogfight.
Sure.
And that hasn't happened for a long time. And we're not going to get into the politics of it, but what we are going to talk about is how important that is to a community, how important rivalries are in a world where, you know, it feels like most kids nowadays, you and I went to school and we were ready to set fire to the other locker room, right?
I grew up in Mineral Ridge.
You didn't like people.
McDonald was like enemy of the state.
You didn't like people.
You would think that it'd been like Russia versus America.
That's it. It was Rocky IV.
Yeah.
But now everybody's friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage friendships amongst communities. However, there's something good about that. And nowadays we have we're not going to play you because X, Y, or Z. We're going to get into that a little bit. But I have a confession first. My name is DJ. I'm 39 years old. And I am a Swiftie.
Oh, beautiful.
Taylor Swift comes out last night with a double album. Drops it on the world at midnight.
You got it already.
I mean, I was listening to it. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when Taylor Swift does something,
she's
Me.
entertaining.
She's fantastic. Like, she is one of the top stars, songwriter. You know, she's done it since she was
very
like 13.
Talented.
Yeah, she's incredible. And anybody that can fill up and sell 300 million, like, just for a drop of a hat, people standing in lines for hours like it's
Modern
WrestleMania.
Day Michael Jackson.
You're right. That's it. And there's so many people that are turning their nose. They're turning around. I don't want anything to do with Taylor Swift.
Well, she's a great entertainer, whether you like her or not. I don't know why someone wouldn't like her as a person.
I appreciate it because, think of it. I was growing up when Michael Jackson was at his peak, right? I got married when he died.
Nothing was more entertaining than watching him.
Whether you
I thought that was the greatest entertainer I've ever seen.
And
him,
now,
Hulk Hogan.
There it is.
You know, there's a few of them that I thought, man, this guy can really entertain. You know what I mean?
But I'm going to put it out there. I know I'm going to get ridiculed for it. My name is DJ Yoakley, and I'm a Swiftie. So there we go. That's how we start the show.
Proud of you.
Welcome back. Back. And Taylor, go get him.
Honesty is best policy.
There's no best policy here. It's just we're just straight up being.
We are who we are.
We're wearing our heart on our sleeve every day.
Oh my gosh.
Here in America. All right, let's talk rivalries. I mean, you said grew up in Mineral Ridge, McDonald, your rival. Me and East Palestine, Columbiana, Crestview. They were both our rivals. Everybody that battled East Palestine was our rival, and now it's the world, or East Palestine versus the world on an everyday basis. So, what I can ask you is, how important, when you were in high school, middle school, whatever it may have been, how important was that rivalry to you?
Well, Mineral Ridge and McDonald right next to each other, so that was a real natural rivalry. And it was a long history of them playing each other. And, you know, you're only a mile apart from each other. You know what I mean? You could drive from Mineral Ridge High School to McDonald High School, a few miles.
Yeah.
You're there in 5-10 minutes. And very, very heated rivalry. And it was awesome to be a part of. To have that, you know, when I went to Western Reserve, you know, playing and then coaching for Ridge, and then going to Reserve, you know, that was a real rivalry when I got there, and we took a lot of pride in making that a rivalry.
Right.
But for small schools, those are great rivalries. I know South Range and Springfield.
Oh yeah.
You know, Girard and Liberty. You could go on and on of people in the rival. Campbell and Struthers probably at one time was like, you know, cutthroat.
Are rivalries watered down now?
I think because of this. Now I'm talking high school football.
Right. Okay.
I'm just talking
That's
football because all sports, I think it's, hey, we're playing our rival this real split. And because softball, baseball, track, basketball. Those are the rivalries are the rivalries.
Yeah.
Leagues promote rivalries, but in football, I think the rivalries meant more, or had more significance when they didn't bring as many teams to the tournament, because this means a lot more.
This was your playoff game.
This was it. You know, it was the Ohio State Michigan once a year.
That's actually a great point.
No, and I'm not saying that I'm just saying from the perspective of the football coach.
Sure.
I think all rivalry, like just playing, you know, in the old ICL days, Middle Ridge playing Springfield or South Range or Lowville or Jackson, McDonald, when the playoffs were only 4 to 8 teams, every game counted more.
Yeah.
Every game. Hey, you slip once, you might not make it. You slip twice, you're most definitely not going to make it.
What do you think people would do today if they said, you know what, Ridge and McDonald will not play for whatever reason? Would there be an uprising?
That wouldn't be healthy.
Yeah.
Like they play week 10 in football. That's like a big deal, man. Like, you know, I don't know, you know, when something becomes lopsided, it affects it. There's no doubt about it. Like, hey, these guys didn't beat these guys in 15. I mean, Middle Ridge beat McDonald the last few years. Prior to that, I think McDonald beat them 12 years in a row. When I went to Western Reserve, they beat Western Reserve 23 years in a row. And it was part of getting hired. It was, hey, can you beat these guys? Well, sure. But we have to coach a certain way.
It's the Ohio State, Michigan.
Well, it's you have to coach a certain way. And it has to mean a lot to your kids, and you have to preach that. Hey, aren't you guys sick and tired of this? That was my thing with, hey, aren't you guys tired of this? But now McDonald, you have to say this. McDonald in the small schools in this area is one of the more traditional teams.
Yes.
Like, you got to give them a lot. I thought making them the rivalry was my attraction. I was at East. I said, hey, West Reserve plays McDonald. That's why I put in for the job. I was coaching in East. I said, they play them. Well, this will be interesting. I'm gonna go for this job and just see what happens.
So did you help create that Reserve McDonald rivalry as it became, or was there something that kind of already existed?
Humble hearts. I'm from Ridge.
Yeah.
When I coached at Ridge, we were 4-0 against them.
Yeah.
Ridge never beat McDonald 4 times in a row. I was lucky enough to be on staff for those 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I was on staff.
Yeah.
I was, I'm a wild guy at practice, and maybe say, well, he, when you're really enthusiastic and you're really up, people take that as if they're on your team or in the town. This guy's, if there's someone else, that guy's unhinged. He's nuts. Because they're only, in football, nobody cares what you did Monday through Thursday.
Nope.
They only want to know that 2.5 hour window on Friday. How did you perform? So, you're only judged by what they see you on Friday. That guy's nuts. And I would coach games possibly how I coach practice. And that's good and bad. Hey, that's who your guy wears his heart on his sleeve. Yep. At Valley Christian, our rivalries, they're not great.
It's different.
Well, because we're in a Columbiana County League.
Yeah.
And we're getting better rivalries as the years go on.
The United one has become a thing.
Well, they're tough. Southern local's tough.
Yep.
Just Columbiana's traditional. United's traditional.
Just you and Spate in the same
he's
arena.
Great. Who's better than him? No. You know what? Who has done more? And I don't want to say with less, because that's putting like a little damper on Columbiana. That's not true.
We don't want to rain on their parade.
But it's not true. But who has done for the longevity? Who has done more?
There's the key.
With ebbs and flows of being up and down.
The eras.
Yeah. Who's done more?
Football
you say what you want about him. He's like some old Civil War veteran, some grizzled old coach.
Stonewall.
And the guy's great. And, he hasn't had the guys every year in, year out. Right. But they'll go upset somebody every year they shouldn't beat.
Yes.
Because they play for the old, fuss. Yeah, the old fuss and feathers, man. They play for him, man. And I give him a lot of credit. There's a lot of coaches, though, in small school coaches a lot of times, because they don't have platoon both sides. They don't have – you got to do more with less. You got to get guys that play both ways. You got to get guys in great shape. You got to convince guys. My thing with kids when you're coaching them is, hey, they're playing football. The other team, we're doing something else. We're storming the beaches. We're doing heroic stuff.
So we already kind of alluded to it. Tonight, Columbiana and Crestview will do battle Eastwood Field on the baseball diamond. I'm going to
It's
do
a great game.
I'm going to do everything I can in my power to be there because this is
They haven't played for a while.
7 years.
You know what? And that's a shame. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and this is just me as a high school football fan and kind of a historian because I'm a history guy. Crestview is not in that league, the EOAC.
They're not.
And for location and size and all that stuff, they probably should be in that league.
44408. That's the zip code that both teams share. Both high schools share that zip code. For me, it kills me because I was part of those rivalries. Right? I lived it because you open up the Morning Journal on a Saturday and you looked Crestview, Columbiana, where were they and where was East Palestine? The same way that for you and Ridge, you guys controlled your destiny a lot. Ours was, okay, this was a 3-way dogfight the majority of the time. What's going to happen? Who's going to come out on top? For us in baseball, split in series. It was before, like we played Columbiana at the beginning of the year. We played Columbiana at the end of the year. We played Crestview at the beginning of the year. We played Crestview at the end of the year. Now they play back-to-back. So if they're in a conference, it's my belief that conferences should be broken up again, and I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this, should be broken up again, and they should be designed and forced into area codes. That's just in zip codes, right? So
that's good for communityism, and that's good for rivalries. I think this is me talking. Sure. I'm not a superintendent. I'm not a board member, and I don't want to be. Okay. Yeah. What's best for people? What's best for schools? And this is what I said last week to you. As a coach, high school football coach, it's nice that you get along with your superintendent.
Yeah.
It's nice that you get along with board members. You work for the kids.
Yep.
That's your job. Do what's best for the kids.
Yep.
And a lot of times you can get yourself in trouble doing what's best for the kids. And I think that sometimes superintendents, and I'm not saying names, insulting people, but they want what's best for their school, and they want wins, and they're looking, hey man, we can't compete with this guy. Or at one time, Crestview, when Cusick was there, and they were at their height with Carter Hill and these guys, they had some teams that were blowing out all the rest of those teams, and they were punished for it. They were punished for it because they made their school attractive. Mm-hmm. They made their school attractive. Right. Hey, there's open enrollment in all these schools.
Yeah,
they made their school attractive. And people wanted to go there.
It's the dream team philosophy. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of this team.
Now, I don't know. When people say, well, they recruited this guy. You know what? I don't want to get into that. I don't, because.
But you and I've gone back and forth on this, whether it's on the air or off the air. Like, you and I have a different philosophy. Like, I don't want to necessarily be part of the best team. I don't want to join the best team. I want to be the stake in the ground that I am the best team. And if you want to, I will beat your team.
Sure.
Across. I don't need to join your team to be the best because I'm going to be the best and I'm going to train.
It's fun to upset the best.
Oh, and let me tell you.
Well, it's fun. It's fun to say, hey, look, we're in the conversation of being the relevant teams.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You want to be relevant. It's impossible in the real world to always be the best. What kind of prideful person thinks I'm always the best? Well, you're going to be upset a lot in this world, in an eternal struggle, this world where you can't be the best. But can you be relevant?
Yep.
Can you be one of those top 3 teams that, hey, we can knock anybody off? And that was our philosophy. Yeah. Hey, we can knock anybody off that we play.
Chip in the chair, baby.
And then you know what? For that 2.5 hour window, we are going to hurt ourselves, not injure, because injure is, hey, I broke my leg. Well, you can't play. But we're going to hurt ourselves to do the best we can to win this. And it's conversation. And if you're not in those locker rooms and you're not talking to kids day to day and convincing kids to play harder, my pride was I was good to the best players, but I would tell the best players, hey, you're supposed to be I'm not going to play up to you. You talk to the best players and say, hey, you're the guy that's carrying the mail, the running back or the quarterback. You should be. I'm going to talk to you and be good to you, but why do I have to play? I'm going to get these other guys that are on the fence to play like maniacs and sacrifice. And that's what's going to make us great.
But outside of playoff, because we all know what the playoff atmosphere is like. Outside of playoffs, is there any better atmosphere
than a rivalry?
No. To get up, communities.
Because you could be 3-7, 3-6, both of you, that play week 10, and it means the world.
Yep.
And everybody, and you know what? Say what you, hey, people can say any unhinged thing they want. Have a great football team and put a levy up.
Yeah.
Have a terrible team and put that same levy up. So you know what? I don't blame leaders of schools to want to be in leagues where they're competitive,
right?
Other than being the doormat.
Yeah.
And then, hey man, we can't get anything done financially because the sports is the front porch, and our front porch is tied to losing.
Yeah.
Tied to unsuccessful, repetitive losing. So you want to put yourself in a position where you're competitive. Saying that, if you're D6 and you're playing other D6 schools and you're just getting wiped all the time, it's time to look in the mirror. It's not, what are we doing? What are we valuing as a school? What are we teaching our kids? Well, and it's not being mean. It's having that conversation.
Is it feasible to in today's day and age have a rivalry game that lives outside of a conference?
Yeah, sure. Because you just said it. Is Crestview and Columbiana in the same league? No. But hey, if they could not play for 20 years, and the minute they play again, they're right next to each other. Family members on both sides. Cousins are on both sides.
Yeah.
Cusick went to Columbiana. Spate went to Crestview.
Really?
Yes. That's the truth.
I didn't know that.
A little history. No, when you're that close.
Oh, yeah.
It'll always be like Mineral Ridge and McDonald. Well, always South Range and Springfield.
Yep.
Now, they might be going in different directions enrollment-wise.
Yeah.
Springfield, I give a lot of credit, still playing South Range.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because South Range went in that league with Northeast State, and they're playing Poland, Hubbard, Struthers, Girard.
Still the smallest school.
And, they value. It's what they value.
Yep.
Hey, they're not the Raiders. They're the Romans, man. You know what I mean? Like, we value this. And they have a lot of socioeconomic things going for them. That's just not haphazard at South Range and South Range. They got 2 parent homes, a lot of them. Not all of them, but 2 parent homes. They're value. They value, team, community, school.
Yeah.
Probably God.
Yep.
I'm just, I'm not saying unhinged things.
No.
So, you know what? They're in a better position. Like those teams out west, Versailles, Coldwater, Minster, Marion Local. They have their own separate towns, and there's nothing, another town. Nothing. Well, they have 2 parent homes. Probably both parents work. They're correlating a lot of things with the values of school and family and God and faith. So when it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
They're getting up at 6 a.m, going to practice. After practice, probably baling hay or doing whatever they got to do at home. And it's just, they're tougher than you are.
When you think about rivalries, right?
Yes.
When you think about what makes them so special, if you could pick it out and put it on a menu, what would it be?
I think the closeness and the proximity a lot of times to schools.
Of schools.
I think that the long-lasting rivalry, the long-lasting tradition of them playing each other, the intensity, the relatives on both sides, family members.
Does the value of the game, like the entertainment of the game, matter to you?
Yeah, but most of the time when you get into real rivalries, real good ones, because everybody wants a rivalry.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, what establishes it's the long-lasting tradition of playing each other.
Sure.
And what the stakes are. You know what I mean? What are the stakes? Well, those two, I remember in the 90s, either South Range was winning the league or McDonald was winning the league in the 90s in the ICL. And there might have been someone else scattered here and there, but it was either McDonald or South Range. Well, the significance of that game became, when they're playing each other, the winner's going to win the league. When we played McDonald when I was at reserve, the 11 years, heck, we won the league 7 times. But if we didn't win the league, it was McDonald.
Yep.
So when we played them, it was, hey, guys, this is it. So we practiced throughout the summer of plays they run. They ran that wing tee and they ran jets and faked the jet, ran belly, faked wing back counter and Michigan, called a Michigan trap, the belly pass, the waggle pass. I could draw it up in my sleep because that's what we did all the time because that game meant everything. And I'm saying my perspective.
Can you force a rivalry?
Yeah. Be relevant long enough. And if that other team's relevant long enough.
So,
it's a Southern and United to me and the EOAC as of recently have been Southern and United have been the top teams.
Yeah.
So for our school, you want to be relevant. You need to beat them.
So you're trying to create rivalries with them.
Well, when I say be relevant, just be the best you can be,
Right.
Be the best version of that you can be.
Yeah.
And then, hey, whoever's going to hate you, and whoever's going to like you, going to like. I think hate's a tough word. Rival. Don't try not to use the word hate. Because,
dislike.
Like people in Ohio State, Michigan, we hate them. Well, they are countrymen. Do you hate Koreans? Do you hate Ukrainians? Are you hating the Russians? Are you hating people coming in illegally?
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't. I mean, are you hating them?
Dislike.
I do not hate anybody coming in from Mexico.
Yeah.
They're trying to get out of a bad situation to a better situation. I dislike how we operate that situation. I dislike that and how we leave a lot of the people in our city behind. And then we want to give people that are non-countrymen, the nation's wealth.
Just for the record, we are not comparing any school to Mexico.
No, we're not.
Or Ukraine.
No, but I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Right.
In correlation to
analogies.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Don't hate people. Don't hate people because they're winning.
No.
Hey, don't hate Ursula and Mooney. And I mean this, because when I was younger, I was so upset with them all the time. Hey, you guys are openly recruiting. And to them, hey, you could say that, but our school's predicated on recruiting kids, or we got to shut our doors.
That's it.
And we're going to build programs that people want to be a part of. And they're going to make themselves really attractive. And then if you have a skill set that benefits them, they're going to say our arms are wide open.
Yep.
Now, how they go about that or whatever, that's for the debate. You can say whatever you want. But then a lot of public schools went to open enrollment.
Yep.
And then, well, it's a level playing field. It's not a level playing field, but if you make your school attractive like Crestview did or South Range, you are going to get some people that want to come there, and that is what it is.
Hot topic. You ready? Has open enrollment and recruiting at the parochial level, as you said, to keep their doors open, has it hurt or helped rivalries? Generally, I think it's hurt it.
I find nothing wrong with making your program,
I agree,
strong and attractive. And I do not talk to other kids from other schools.
Right.
If someone came in when I was at reserve and, hey, this is so-and-so from out of town, they want to come here in 7th or 8th grade and they want to be a part of the team. I was flattered. Wait a minute, you want to come to our school because of football? Well, my only thing I'd ever say to people is this, the parents, and this is the truth. And I'd always say this, if your values align with the values of the school.
I've heard you say this.
Then
in a conversation.
If your values align with the values of the school and the community, I guess our arms are wide open. We have open enrollment. Now you have to qualify properly and go to the ministry.
I've been in circles with you that a parent will come up and say, hey, I want my kid to play for you. And you literally say, hey, if your values lock into what we're doing, you need to go see
the administration. Go down to the administration office.
Yep.
Go fill out papers because I don't want to be involved.
That's not bullcrap. That is.
I just don't. Honest. I don't want to get involved with illegal things. and do I want the best team as a coach?
Yes.
Do you want to be the one that's Kirtland, Marion local type?
Hey, nobody's in the picture holding up twos.
Right.
Right.
And
you're the tribal chief. You're the one.
You're the one. But at the same time, coach the kids that are at your school. Do the best you can with them. In the end, how many guys are going to go play in the NFL? How many guys are going to play Division I? Not many.
Yeah.
Look at the guys that won Division I the last 10 years out of Ursula, Mooney, and Latonia.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying college scholar. Division I.
Yep.
It's not that big of a difference.
No.
It's really not. Now the programs are fundamentally different.
Do you miss the days that there was no open? Like, what's open enrollment?
Wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be something
if they just said?
If they said you go play for the town you're in,
like the Hawks versus the Ducks.
But here's the problem with that: there are private schools.
Yes,
I'm at one. We're not going out and getting kids. Ours is more of a salvation, a trying to save kids.
Yeah,
a mission school.
Sure,
you can go to Valley Christian anywhere. But a lot of it is correlated with trying to help city kids.
But if you win, Andy, it doesn't matter what your mission is. They're going to say, well, they're recruiting.
Well, look at them. They got these kids.
Yeah.
And that's fine because you know in your heart what you're doing. And you know what? Prove it because I didn't do anything.
And I want to put on the record, I'm not against open enrollment. I mean, I'm a huge advocate. I'm part of it.
It created funds and it gave school choice.
Yes.
Hey, look, I live in this town. The next town over has much better academics and they value my value system more.
That's the one.
So I'm going to try to go somewhere where my kid gets the best experience in education and values and teach them the right way. Am I mad at that? It's the American way.
Right.
You just got to, they had the OHSAA, who I have my beefs with, but the one thing they tried to do is implement things like competitive balance. And you go from team to team without moving. You're sitting out X amount of games.
Don't you think?
And you had to do that.
The OHSAA, who again, we've had our qualms with. We
still do.
We go toe to toe with them constantly. I would be almost slackjawed, to borrow your words, slackjawed, if the OHSAA would, for once in their life, step in and govern the way they're supposed to, and say, "Hey, we're putting borders up." To my point earlier, these are your conferences. These are who you have to play. Build it up like you would,
like the MAC conference,
like an NCAA. So then, guess what? Now the playoffs are dependent on winning your conference. 2 teams get in. If you make it to the championship game,
that'd be wild.
I think it'd be unbelievable.
You got to win the NE8, or you have to be first or second place.
That's it.
And there's an at-large bid of third.
I think that would be phenomenal.
But then you got teams out in the MAC conference that, you can finish third in your league and then you win the state title because they do it. I mean, Marion Local, Coldwater,
you want
New
rivalries?
Bremen, Anna,
you want
Versailles.
rivalries. You want rivalries back. You want it to sell out these stadiums. Put something on the line. The problem to me is that the OHSA is so standoffish, right? And we get on them during the playoffs because it's their birthday party and they make up all these different rules that cater to them, right? It caters to them, doesn't cater to any school in particular, caters to them. But they don't do anything during the regular season. Nothing. The only thing that they do is
they're setting parameters and policies of, if you leave your team or your school and you don't move, you have to sit out half the season. There has to be some rules in place, because if not, especially with this NIL stuff we were telling,
it's coming.
What would stop some wealthy donors in some schools, public and private, from capturing the hearts and minds of some kids, paying for some things and getting all-star teams together? I mean, it would. I know it's already here to some degree, and people can make that argument.
But here's the thing: I think open enrollment, for the most part, and you go through the whole gamut. My kid's in kindergarten. He open enrolls to a different school. The difference is he's not a sophomore, right? Yeah. Going because he wants to play golf, because he wants a chance at a state championship. I don't look happy, and I'm nobody, but I don't think that's the right reason to move your kid. I think it should be about the values. It should be about academics. And if there's a better opportunity for your son, your daughter to go
have a better experience
and
grow as a person.
But the loophole was leaked. I don't know where it was leaked, but everybody's bullied. And that's how they get to go to different
exemption
schools.
9 or whatever.
Oh, it's sick. It's
I don't
disgusting. Listen, if I sat into a room and said my son or daughter was bullied and that's why they're moving,
I think the OHSAA covers that.
Yep. Because they don't know what litigation is waiting on the other side.
It's hard to deny.
It's hard to prove, and it's hard to deny. You're right.
Yeah, the truth will set you free, and a lie told well is immortal.
That's it.
And a 6'5", 285-pound kid saying, "I got bullied," you and me would go, "What?" But hey, if that's what it is, then that's what it is.
To each their own. But there's a little bit of the people's eyebrow going up whenever that
conversation goes down.
Your left tackle is getting bullied.
But I mean, it's a hard thing because opportunity and.
By the way, the left tackle's getting bullied, and they're going to a perennial state powerhouse.
Going to St. Ignatius.
Yes,
because you won't get bullied there.
Wait a minute.
It's no one ever got bullied at South Range and went to Sebring.
No.
Am I being mean saying it?
Like, no, I mean, it's honest.
I wonder what kid at Warren Harding got bullied and ended up at Bristol. Some first team.
These are just examples, people.
Well, I'm not being mean. I mean, it is what it is. You're just trying to say the big school, big spotlight school.
You never get bullied into a worse situation. I guess is my thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's the human condition. Try to put yourself in the best position you can.
Yeah.
And you know what? When it comes to your loved ones and your kids, then it's like hard not to try.
But a rivalry's in the same space, right?
I would rather grown up in Mineral Ridge and having McDonald as the rivalry than any other place. I'm sure if someone grows up in Austin Town, they didn't like Boardman. I'm sure if someone grew up in Springfield, they didn't like South Range. If you grew up in Struthers, you didn't like Poland or Kimmel.
Yep.
And to them, that was everything.
I know guys today that graduated from said school. They moved into the district. Their children play for the rival that they had in high school. They will not wear the colors.
Yeah.
They won't wear their kid's jersey.
That's
they won't.
America.
That is, to me, it's cool, a little wild, a little crazy. You know what I mean?
But that goes to show you what the whole conversation.
I'll never wear it. That'd be me like me saying, you know what? I'm a Bulldog. I graduated from East Palestine 2003. Columbiana and Crestview will never, and I mean never, be on YSN.
Right.
Like, come on.
Well, you can't be, especially you can't.
No,
be
I can't
like
do
that. But you could say, hey, I have a special place in my heart for not the people of McDonald. They're great people.
Yeah.
They're good people like you and me. They
But
love
I
their
will never
country,
wear the blue
but
and
I'm
gold.
not wearing an M on my hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I try not to look at things. You know what? Coaching high school football, I see Ohio State and Michigan people, and I get it. You like the team and you're against the other team. Bit extreme.
So here's a question.
I mean, really, like a bit extreme, some of it. I mean, I root for one, right? But I'm not going to say, if you can't respect Michigan the last few years of what they did, what are you, foolish?
Yeah.
Hey, because if we're that good and we're always this good, Ohio State, we got all these 5-star guys. How they beating us like drums? Sign stealing. That's going to be our conversation. Weak sauce.
You ready? Ready? Truth serum. We're jabbing you with the truth serum.
Good.
Okay, right? Here it is. Hypothetically.
Yep.
If McDonald ever said, hey, Coach Hake, we love what you do.
There's a price for everything.
I knew it.
Want to be great. No.
But you're still.
I think they're one of the better coaches in the area.
Oh, I love
Dan Williams is one of the best. I've seen him do more with less.
Yeah.
Like Bob.
Yeah.
There's some teams in McDonald. I was like, they went 8-2, 9-1, and I didn't see it, but it means a lot for those
Coach
kids.
Williams isn't going anywhere.
He's awesome.
So for me,
I saw him the other day at Giant Eagle, and I reminded him how good I think he is as a coach. I think he's an all-timer, man. All-timer.
But for you to, was it always like that? Was it always there's a price?
No, there was you know what it was? It was we were going against each other, and it was like, when did Woody Hayes, the 10-year war, yeah. Woody Hayes and Schembechler. When I went against McDonald, it was like the 10-year war. I respected the McDonald coaches. Liking someone that week, that you respect them. And it was hate week. It was, you know what I mean? Yeah. You talk about it. Yeah. Hey, this is it, guys. This is landing at Normandy. And for a young man, that is what it is. You got to keep it in perspective, right? Because you're really not taking guns from Germans in bunkered. You're not really doing that.
No.
But you're going to talk about it in a way that someone gets
they get offended.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, there's a sense of heroic belonging that's going to be installed in these children from day one.
Yep.
And talking about things daily and talking about the importance of beating these guys and what they mean and what the rivalry means. It's just awesome. It is. It's really awesome. And hey, would I ever go coaching McDonald? Would I ever go coach? I have nothing against that. You know,
Dan Williams is sitting on the edge of his seat right now, waiting for the end of this sentence.
Listen, I'm saying this. Never is a long time. Is it not though?
No, you're right.
Never is a long time.
You're
but
right.
I'm from Mineral Ridge, man, and I, you know, I'm from.
You want to fight Floyd Mayweather? Everybody's got a price.
Listen to me. This guy is making $250 million a fight. I would fight him on a beach. What did Churchill say? I'll fight him on a landing strip. I'll fight him. I'll fight him. Give me $2 million. One for my family and one for the hospital bills. And then, hey, we're going to give the folks a great show. We're going to give them a great show. I want to fight him 4th of July, Southside High School. We're putting up the lights. It's going to be the greatest show on earth.
What's your walkout song?
Hulk Hogan, Real American, Rick Derringer. Hey, wouldn't it be great? Is that what it is? Hey, wouldn't it be great? Huh?
It'd be perfect.
But hey, just go out there, put on a great show, fight them real hard.
What do you think? What do you think
We'll start calling out the money team.
TMT?
Bring it.
What do you think the I don't know what it is, the weigh-in would be like with Floyd Mayweather on the south side of Youngstown?
It'd be wild.
You and him, man.
Huh?
You and him.
We're not going to back down with talk. You know?
Would you headbutt him?
No. Headbutt Floyd?
Yeah, you go.
Guys, respect that.
You go toe to toe.
Guys, yeah.
He's going to say something to you.
You got to make it WWE-ish because that's what brings in the money, right?
Would you try to stun him?
Stone cold stun him. Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be awesome.
Huh?
You have to do something.
Well, you have to fight really hard.
Well, that's the night of the fight. There's got to be some you
got to call him out like Apollo Creed, right?
Right.
Every night.
You want to.
I'm gonna bust you up, Balboa. Huh? I'm gonna take all that money from that bag, money team. You know what I mean? You better bring that bag, right?
I love it.
Come out with my kids. Hey, come out with the Valley Christian team to the arena. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, throwing towel. They'd probably be laughing.
See,
Coach, you're gonna get busted up tonight.
Jay Trizzy comes out.
Oh, let's go.
That's all you need.
Towel man.
That's all.
Oh my God.
We're duffel bag boy.
Oh, hey, let's go. Hey,
gosh.
Hey, you know what? I do want to say this about rivalries because as the playoffs are expanded and the games are watered down a little bit on Friday night, because rivalries mean more when hey, you win or you're out. You win or I know the league still matters though. League championships should matter the most because state championships, hey, get serious. I look at a lot of people in the face and hey, we can win state this year. My first comment is not being mean. That's great. That's a wonderful dream. But the teams that are always there understand what commitment and drive and sacrifice and violence, controlled violence, and they know what it is to keep showing up. And for you with your good team to go beat a great program, a lot of times it's just too much. And I'm not being mean about it. You know, South Range had a lot of great teams. They knocked on the door a lot of times. They had a special team, special run, things lined up properly. And, you know, it's that there's that special year or two. Brookfield, 1978. Mm-hmm. You know, they had Marcus Merrick and they had these guys. My dad was one of the coaches on the team.
95 Devils.
The 95 Devils. The West Branch, I think, in 95. Didn't they win it in 95? West Branch? Didn't Poland win it?
Poland won it as well.
In 99,
98, 99, yeah.
Okay. I mean, how many locals? So Ursuline's won a few. Mooney's won a few.
Canfield, South Range.
Ursuline,
Range. Mooney.
When do they – it's not like, oh, look at this team always winning state titles. That's why it's such an aberration when you see like Marion Local and Kirtland. I don't know if a Division I team in this area beat Marion Local. And people can say anything they want. I watched them play enough. They play differently. Kirtland.
We've talked about this before on this show. I mean, if you look at the South Range team, the Springfield teams during the Brungard era,
that group.
You look at they've played almost a season, 2 full seasons more in the course of their career than the average high school football player.
Crazy.
That's why they're good, is because they're getting the reps.
They're getting experience and reps, and they have the players.
Yep.
You know, coaching matters, but you could have good coaches and great talent and be a lot better than great coaches and below average talent.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to have some Jimmies and Joes.
Yep.
The X's and O's only go so far. You need some guys. Yep. And
bottom line, rivalries good for sports, or
it makes sports.
Okay.
Rivalries makes people relevant and makes seasons relevant. Hey, if you go 2-8, but at least you beat those dogs from the rivalry town, that means, hey, the season wasn't lost, right? Yep. I remember a couple of times in Ridge, we were 3-7, but they beat McDonald. McDonald went 8-2, 91. The season wasn't lost. You know what I mean? Yep. Hey, ask Ohio State fans how going 11-0 and then losing to Michigan.
Okay, wait a minute. All right, before we go, last question.
Because Buckeye fans would say we lost the season. Oh,
if you went
spoiled
1-9 but beat your rival, is it a successful season? Or
from the perspective of town?
Yeah,
possibly.
Okay.
From the perspective of the old ball coach, come on. I mean, this was a great light in a dark night.
Super happy, right?
It is a beacon of hope in a dark, dark night.
Gets
but
you
it
to the next
doesn't.
season.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, okay, but you got to keep things in perspective. Like this year for Ohio State, spending over $30 million on players.
You gotta win. You gotta win.
Hey, DJ, let's be serious. Like $30 million, over $30 million on these guys.
You should be fighting those guys, not Floyd Mayweather.
I don't want no part of some 21-year. I'll take on the 47. How old is he? 45, 47? At least some guy close to my age. I'm not taking no 21-year-old.
Fight Hulk Hogan.
He's 70. He'd have a rough time moving around. Do a couple leg sweeps.
Think you could take him?
At 70 some years old?
I mean, it's still Hulk Hogan. Listen, you'll
That'd
have
be like
him
hitting
down.
my childhood hero.
He'll start
hulking
up.
The old Hulk.
Yeah, then you're
screwed,
he
does.
Man.
I'm going to be the smart one. I'm running out of the ring until he hulks down. Everybody always punched him thinking they were going to. When he hulked up, the enemy should have ran out of the ring until he hulked down. Hey, have a Coca-Cola or a Mountain Dew and just sit out there. And you know what I mean? Hey, I'm going to hang out here for a minute. All right, he hulked down, coming back in the ring. They fought him like, I'm going to punch him. Then he's going to start shaking. Then he's going to point his finger. And it was like, dude, you're doomed. Here comes the big boot and the leg drop. Right. And he's going to be like, dude, I've seen this a million times. Get out of there. You know.
Don't they watch tape?
Don't they watch any tape? Unbelievable. I mean, but yeah, hey, rivalries make sports. And at the same time, it just makes things significant for the season. And Crestview kids want to play the Columbiana kids.
And vice versa.
So shame on whatever power to be.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard because I know people want what's best for their school, but what's best for the school is those kids play each other. You know what I mean?
They grow up playing each other now.
What if Coldwater didn't play Marion local? Hey, we're not playing each other. Why?
Well, we play each other in the postseason. Like, we've seen it happen, and there's no problem.
Whoever wins state. Oh. No, that's how it goes.
Oh.
Whoever wins state. I mean, Coldwater and Marion Local play week 10 of the football season. So many times in the last 10 years, they've both been 9-0. The winner wins state, and the loser wins state in another division.
Dude, let me tell you, tonight at Eastwood Field is going to be electric. I really think we'll have the game on YSN.
You should sing "God Bless America."
No, they've got singers. This is going to be an event, and it deserves to be that, because if we're only going to get this once every 7 years in a rivalry that deserves to be played each and every year, twice a year, let's make it special. Let's make it even more special. This is the WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen, of Columbiana County tonight. And
you know what the answer is? Recruit your hallways. Be good to your kids. Talk about what's important. You have to, as a coach, you have to do the best you can to reach out to parents. And then you have to have an understanding with the administration. And this is what kills a lot of guys. Hey, man, I got to do what's best for these kids. I hope we're all on the same page.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times.
Sometimes doing what's best for the kids doesn't pay the bills, but sometimes it doesn't have to. Sometimes it's the right thing to do. And it's never the wrong time to do the right thing.
My man. USA.
Last question before we go, real quick. Best rivalry in professional wrestling history.
Professional wrestling? Man, I grew up in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, I watched Hulk Hogan wrestle Macho Man, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior. I saw, the NWO came out. That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they fought?
I love it.
They just beat up everybody.
I was a big NWO guy.
They just beat up everybody.
Wolfpack.
That's unbelievable. And then Hogan came back and wrestled The Rock in a WrestleMania.
The actual Hulk Hogan.
Wasn't that great?
They kicked him out of the NWO.
Remember that?
Yep. The whole look this way, look that way.
I mean, there's just different generations. Bret Hart fought, what's that?
Shawn Michaels.
And he fought Austin.
Yep.
Austin fought everybody.
John Cena versus The Rock lately.
Yeah, wrestling's fun.
Roman Reigns.
It's the male soap opera.
Finish the story.
We're
finished with our story today. I want to thank Coach Andy Haig for coming in. Appreciate you, brother.
We love our country, man. So many things are going on in the world right now, and so many things going on in our country, and it's at least we have an outlet.
Aren't we incredibly lucky to talk about these young men, these young ladies?
Sports in general is an outlet for people to get away for a while. You know, I remember when
Let's talk about some good stuff.
When the Vindicator closed, and they said, "Hey, I wrote a piece the last day that they ran a paper." They said, "Hey, write something." And I remember writing it. It was like an honor because I wrote a piece, and it was really nice. My thought was this: you know, sports gives us a minute to get away from reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And our heroes don't live forever. But for a minute, you can get away from reality and go into like a playland where you have heroes, there's a finish to the game, there's a winner, there's a loser, you know, and there's like hope of something, you know what I mean? At the end, there's a winner and a loser. But sports was something that for me growing up was the best thing in the world. And it seems like we're not losing that, but losing, you know, when you start talking about NIL and all this stuff in high school, what is it all about? It's about character building, being a part of something better than yourself, having heroes made. I remember when Todd Henning ran a kickoff back against McDonald with no time left, and he was a sophomore, and we beat them the last second of the game. Well, a hero was born that game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And forever, the people at Berlin Center will say that kid was a hero. You know what I mean? And, you know, heroes are made with sports, professional, college, high school. And you do a good job because you filled that gap when these papers closed and the news only has so much time to cover all this stuff.
Oh, I got all day.
So you got all day, and you filled the void for teams in this area like Crestview, Columbiana,
Mm-hmm.
for these heroes to be propped up just for a minute.
Props to Crestview because they were the original four: Crestview, South Range, Salem, Leetonia.
Oh, really?
Yep.
For you?
For us. That's why we exist. Those four right there.
Isn't that something? They gave you a chance. And you know what? You know what I mean? Without getting a chance.
Chip in a chair, like you always say.
It's the truth, man.
That's going to do it for our show today. Andy, thank you once again. We appreciate you.
Hey, God bless you, man.
Appreciate you. We'll talk to you next time. Go out, support your local rivalry. Hopefully we see you out there at Eastwood Field. If you can't get there, it's on YSN for free. We'll see you tonight.
America.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories,